Okay. Hi everyone. Today Salesforce Lightning Day 3. What are we going to learn from today's topic? And what is the today's agenda? So today we are going to focus on Salesforce Lightning. So what is today's agenda? We are going to learn Salesforce Development. And then we are going to see classic development flow, how the logic flows in the classic and how the logic flows in Lightning. And we will see Salesforce Lightning. What is Salesforce Lightning? And what are the Lightning component frameworks? And we'll see Lightning application. And then we'll see what is the difference between the Salesforce Classic. We will see the differences between the Salesforce Classic and Salesforce Lightning. And then key differences between the Salesforce Classic and Salesforce Lightning. And we'll have some questions at the end of our session. And then we'll have some questions. And after that, we'll have today's interview questions. Okay. So let's move on. Salesforce development. The first one is Salesforce development. Now, whenever you say, I'm working in Salesforce developer, or I have a development experience, or you say that I am a developer. Whenever you say I am a developer, what is that means? What is company is expecting from you in interview? You will say that I am a developer. I have three years of experience in the development. So what is that means? What is the company expecting from you when you say I have a development experience? So let's understand. Salesforce development is divided into 3 areas. One is user interface development, and the second one is logic, Apex, OOPS development, and the third one is Salesforce integration. Again, Salesforce user interface is divided into 3 pieces. One is Visualforce development, where we are going to use the technology called Visualforce framework. And second is Lightning development. We will implement user interface using the Lightning development. And we are using the technology called Aura and Lightning framework. And the third one is Lightning web component, also known as LWC. So by which technology we are going to use in LWC? The technology called DOM. And we are going to use modern JavaScript framework. So the conclusion is Salesforce development. When you say Salesforce developer, when you say I'm a Salesforce developer, that means developer should be aware of user interface and logic, Apex, logic in a sense, whatever we write in the Apex, and the OOPS concept, OOPS development, and Salesforce integration. Salesforce integration, you need a knowledge. You need not to be 100% know everything into the integration. You should be aware how the APIs are working, everything. Now, when you say development, you think that I should be 100% in the coding. No, you need not to be 100% in the coding. That is not expected by interview. That is not expected by interviewer. Interviewer is going to check how much capability do you have. If I give a something, if I give some scenario, will you able to give me the answer? Not exactly 100%, but are you able to give me the information? At least are you trying it? If you do not know, also you are trying to do something, right? So always remember, do not think that development is nothing but, developer is nothing but, do I need to be 100% perfect in the coding? No. Nobody expects the 100% perfect in the coding. Even I don't know so many things, right? I don't know so many things. So nobody expects the interview 100% you have to give everything. Okay, but whenever they ask a question, you have to be very frank. Like if you don't know anything on that question, say don't know. If you know, explain it very clarity, give the clarity on the answer. So basically the interview is like how you are impressing other person. Okay. And also how much you know. How much, when I say how much you know, how much capable do you have to crack a project or to crack or to implement a project? How long can you go on? So that is what is expected from the interviewer. Along with that, they should be knowing that you should be knowing at least user interface. User interface development is again divided into the Visual Force development, and Visual Force development is implemented in Visual Force framework. Lightning development, Lightning again divided into the Lightning development and Lightning web component. Lightning development is where we are implementing using technology called Aura and Lightning framework. Lightning web component is, which is also known as LWC. We are going to implement LWC using the DOM. DOM is nothing but document object model. DOM is nothing but document object. If anyone doesn't know, DOM is nothing but document object model. So by using this and modern JavaScript, so by using this, we are going to implement the Lightning web component. Also, developer should know Apex and developer should know Salesforce integration. Now let's see how the flow is going to happen when we see in the classic. That means classic development flow. When we say classic development is nothing but Visual Force development. When we say Lightning flow is nothing but Lightning development and Lightning web component. So Friday and Saturday, we will be learning the Lightning development and Lightning web component both. Friday and Saturday, we will be learning the Lightning development and Lightning web component. Now let's see how it works in classic. How it works in classic. Right? So let's understand this. This will give the clarity why we are going in the Lightning also. Okay. So assume that there is an app. There is an app which is implemented to calculate EMI. There is an app which is implemented. This is ADCB Bank. This is one of the bank where we have some app to calculate the EMI. So, and it has a few fields. One field is enter loan amount, loan tenure, loan interest. 3 fields. 2 fields are input text, and one is it's just a line which will where we have to drag like a 1 year or 2 years. And then we'll have a 2 buttons which is called calculate and clear. Calculate, when we click on the calculate, based on the loan amount, tenure, interest, we are going to get the response in monthly EMI here. Okay. So user has to enter loan amount. They have to select what their tenure is, 1 year or 2 year. And user has to select the loan interest here, 10 or 20, they have to select it. And as soon as I click on a calculate, monthly EMI should come. Now, this is the UI development. So this UI, this is the requirement which we got it from the client, So when we receive this requirement, what are the different ways? The first thing developers start thinking whenever we get this design, they start thinking on how can I implement it? If we are going to implement in a classic development, that means we are going to use Visual Force. UI will be visual force and logic has to be in the apex. What are the business logic we are writing for this has to be in the apex. Now, if we implement using the Lightning development, where here framework is Aura framework. We will be using the Aura framework and UI will be implemented Aura and we will be using the Lightning and also will be using the HTML. And logic is JavaScript and Apex. And then if we implement same UI development using the LWC, if we go with implementing LWC, here the framework is DOM and UI will be HTML and Lightning. Logic, JavaScript and Apex. So here the conclusion is, whenever we get a UI implementation in real-time project, if I get any user story to implement an application, then we have to think whether classic development is a better or Lightning development is a better. If I go with the classic development, then I have to use the UI visual force and then Apex logic has to be in the Apex. If I go with the Lightning development, then I have to use the Aura and HTML, also Lightning. So we will be using the HTML here also. And the logic has to be JavaScript. So basically the Lightning development, Lightning web component logic is same. Logic will be JavaScript and Apex. Now, if you have a question, what is the logic that we will be writing in JavaScript? What will be the logic that we will be writing in the Apex? Hold on that question. Okay, next slides we have to discuss on that. If we go with the classic, only one place where we are going to implement the logic. Clear?
So all the cases, knowledge of Apex is required, whether we use classic or use UI development.
Abhishek, you have typed, my internet is not good.
Yeah, I'm saying in all the cases, Apex, knowledge of Apex is essential.
Okay. 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 I have some issues. Okay, are you able to hear me now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. In all the three frameworks, knowledge of Apex is must. Yes, Apex is must, because whether you go for a classic or whether you go for a Lightning, which is Aura or LWC, Apex is needed. But here you will be using, in classic, you will be using the 100%, whatever you wanted to do in the business logic, you will use the 100% logic in the Apex, right? Whereas in the Lightning development, there are some logic which you can directly implement in JavaScript. You do not need to connect with Apex. You do not need to connect with Apex. You can implement in JavaScript. So here probably we will be using the 50 or 40%. Let's assume that we are using the Apex here 40% in the LWC. Here also we will be using the 40%. Rest, whatever is there, we can implement using the JavaScript.
Sometimes do we use only JavaScript ma'am in Lightning and Lightning Web Components?
I cannot hear you guys.
Hello, ma'am, am I audible?
Yes, you are audible. I think there is some problem.
Okay, okay, sir. Okay. Sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, you're audible. Yes, ma'am.
Let me rejoin. Okay, the question, Archana, JavaScript. See here, we are going to use only JavaScript. Okay. Lightning development, Aura is just a JavaScript kind of a jQuery JS. But whereas Lightning Web Component, we will be using the latest modern JavaScript.
Okay.
Okay. Abhishek, you are asking some question. Is that clear or?
Yeah, it is clear. I'm just asking whether in all the cases knowledge of Apex is required, right?
Yes, yes, that's true. Yeah. Okay, let's move on.
Shailaja has some question.
Yes, Shailaja.
Ma'am, do you use only JavaScript in Lightning, ma'am, without Apex?
Yes, we can go with only JavaScript. If you are good with JavaScript, you can go with JavaScript. If you think there is some logic which is required where you think only Apex can do, then in that case, we have to call the Apex.
Okay. Thank you.
Madam, I have a question. Like, we don't use any HTML in the Aura.
That's what I said here. UI is HTML, Aura, and Lightning.
Okay.
Okay, so let's move on. Yes, Shankar, you have any question? Okay, so classic development flow. Let's take a same example that we have discussed. ADCB bank, EMI calculator, where we have 3 fields and 2 buttons, and we have a monthly EMI, right? And this is what the same example which we have seen. Now, this is the application implemented using the Visual Force. That means we are in classic development. Right now we are going to see classic development flow. If we implement this application in classic, then what is going to happen, right? Now here user interface is implemented using the Visual Force page. And the logic has to be written in Apex, OOPS or logic. So means in classic development, whenever we click on a calculate button, all the data that goes to Apex, all the data, as soon as I click on this, whatever input is provided by user, all the information it will be taken and it will send to the Apex. It will send to the Apex. So Apex does some business. Here the logic will be there. There should be some logic to calculate the EMI. There should be some logic to calculate the EMI. And it will calculate, and then whatever the output is there, it will display the output in monthly EMI. So what is happening here from the user interface? I'm sending the data to server side controller. I'm sending the data to server side controller. Server side controller is nothing but which is connected to the database, right? It sits in somewhere and I am client. So for example, your clients are in USA, or the org is created based on the where the instance is related to the USA or Singapore. Let's take a Singapore. So your clients are in Singapore. That means your server sits in somewhere else. And right now you are trying to build a application in Visual Force. So as soon as I click on the calculate, there is some code that we have written in the Visual Force to send all this information to Apex, to send all this information to server side controller. And server side controller does the logic and it returns back to the user interface with the output. Now again, this server side controller, if it wants to talk to database, right? If it wants to talk to database, either pushing the data to the database by using the DML, or you are going to query the data. In case if you are querying the data, we have to use the SOCL and SOCL. Salesforce Object Query Language, Salesforce Object Search Language. If you have to fetch the data from database, then we have to use Salesforce Object Query Language, Salesforce Object Search Language. Observe each and every word, whatever I am talking about, because these are the words you will keep on hearing it. If you want to push the data, means using the DML, either you are doing an insert, update, or a delete. If you wanted to do anything, the logic is written to do the DML operation. That means you are pushing the data to database.com. In case if you want to fetch the data, from database, then you have to use Salesforce Object Query Language, Salesforce Object Search Language, right? So here, what is happening, the total is, there are 3 steps which is happening. First step is, step 1, data from user interface to logic. User interface to server side controller. I'm sending the data from user interface to, server side controller. And the second step is where it is connected, the logic to DB or DB to logic. The connection is here. Either we are pushing the data to database.com or we are retrieving the data. So step 2 is logic to database or database to logic. And then finally the step 3. Step 3 is whatever the output of this logic is there, it will return back to the user interface. Data from logic to user interface. So total 3 steps we are doing it. Whereas in Lightning development flow, in Lightning development flow, Apex is not mandatory. Logic we can implement within the UI. Logic can be implemented within the UI. In Lightning, logic is written in JavaScript. Most of the logic we will write it in the JavaScript. So whenever we click on a calculate button on the application, so what happens as soon as I click on the calculate in the Lightning, it sends the information to JavaScript. In Lightning, all the information goes to JavaScript. Basically, JavaScript is going to take all the input that is entered by the user. Now JavaScript does the logic and it will send the response to the user interface. So the input is, all the input it will be taken, and the output is also from the JavaScript. So whatever the logic we are writing in the JavaScript is called client-side controller. Whatever the logic we are writing in the JavaScript is called client-side controller. In Classic, we cannot write the logic in client-side controller. We do not have that flexibility, where the Lightning has the more flexibility to implement the logic in the JavaScript without calling the server-side controller. Now, in this scenario, what are the scenario that I'm giving here? What we are doing it, user is entering their loan amount and they are selecting the tenure and they are giving the loan interest, right? For this application, we do not need server-side controller. Basically, it does not require any database connection because they're on fly, they wanted to calculate and show the output. As soon as user enter here, click on a calculate and we can directly do the logic in client-side controller and provide the output here. That means on fly, based on these three fields only, I need to provide the output. For this, I need not to call the server-side controller. We can implement using the client-side controller. We can implement using the client-side controller, whereas Classic, we cannot do. We cannot implement client-side controller logic. The logic cannot be implemented. Everything it has to go to Apex. If you want to get a field value, Apex is needed. Here, we can directly capture the field value, the data that is entered here. Now, if in case JavaScript wants to talk to database, they can talk to database directly. There is no issue with that. So they can directly talk to the database without connecting to the server side, which is possible. So JavaScript can take the information and provide the information to database. Right? We can directly talk to database without connecting to the server side. Now let's assume that user has entered the loan amount is 1 lakh. Loan amount is 1 lakh and tenure is 1 year. The user has selected the tenure is 1 year and the loan interest is 10. Loan interest is 10. These all information, it goes to client-side controller. It will take 1 lakh and tenure is 1 year, and then what is the interest? Interest is 10. So it will calculate. It will take these three information, it does the logic and sends the response back to the monthly EMI. So here the response, assume that it's a 12,000. Assume that around 12,000. Okay, not exactly same, but assume that it's around 12,000. So monthly EMI is 12,000. Where the calculation has happened, calculation happened in the client-side controller. Right? So sometimes if you observe in Classic, if you want to get this response, it will be 1 second delay, 1 second or 2 second delay in order to get the response. Whereas in Lightning, you will see immediately the response is coming back. Right? Because the Classic, you have to touch server-side controller. Definitely there will be at least 1-2 second delay will be there. Whereas in Lightning, you will not see. On fly, you will take all the information. The calculation happens in the client side and it will give you the output. And after that, if it has to connect to database.com, once this everything is done, then it will connect to the database.com. A logic that sits in the client side controller that makes a Lightning faster compared to your Classic development. Efficiency. The efficiency is very good, but if you write the logic in client-side controller, right? So Lightning development will be, that's the reason Lightning development is sometimes it is faster because the developer has implemented logic within the client-side controller. If developer does that, then your Lightning application is faster response, you will get it. And also we can implement the interactive page. Interactive page, in a sense, using the Lightning, we can implement interactive page. If you go to Flipkart or Amazon, what happens? The screens are moving. One by one, the screens will move, right? Have you seen anything interactive pages? The screens will be, the pages will be keep on moving. So we can implement those interactive pages also, we can implement using the Lightning. So in our class, we will be learning the JavaScript, we will be learning the HTML, we will be learning the Aura, and we will be learning the LWC. Clear? So one of the difference between the Classic and Lightning is efficiency. Efficiency, the faster response is faster. Let's move on. Salesforce Lightning. Salesforce Lightning consists of three technology areas, three areas. First of all, what is Salesforce Lightning? Salesforce Lightning is, it's definitely component-based framework. Why it is component-based framework? Because if you go to the Lightning, or if you go to the opportunity, in opportunity, open any record. Open any record. So here, if you see, can you go on mute, please? Okay, if you see here, this is one component. This is another component. This is another component. And inside this, we again have a smaller components. Each one of them is a component here. So Lightning, Salesforce Lightning is component-based framework. Salesforce Lightning is component-based framework. By using the Salesforce Lightning, developer can build innovative user interface. Innovative user interface. When I say innovative user interface is interactive pages, different applications we can implement it. Is everybody clear when I say interactive pages? Do you understand that interactive pages means?
That means moving pages. Different.
Yes. Moving
That's
slides will be automatically moving. Now, if you see here, Flipkart, what is happening after few seconds, the screen will go away and again it will come another screen. So the screens will be keep on moving. I need not to click on this, right? I need not to click on this. It will be keep on moving. The screens will be changing every couple of seconds. Every couple of seconds, the screen will be changing. So that is the interactive pages, right? So using the Salesforce Lightning, a developer can build innovative user interfaces and applications. And Salesforce Lightning consists of three things. First one is Lightning experience. First one is Lightning experience. First one is Lightning experience. Lightning experience is nothing but, we have already discussed Lightning experience.
The actions, whatever the actions done in the Lightning.
Right. Guys, are you able to hear me? Balaji said he is not able to hear.
Yeah, you are absolutely, we can hear you, madam.
Okay. So first one is Lightning experience. Second one is Lightning component framework. And then we have a Lightning design system. Salesforce Lightning consists of three technological areas: Lightning experience, Lightning component framework, Lightning design system. What is the Lightning experience here? Lightning experience is nothing but the UI part of Salesforce Lightning. The UI part of Salesforce Lightning. Whatever you can see here, the Lightning, This everything is called as a Lightning experience. This is Lightning experience. Now, Lightning component framework is nothing but the development of a single application concept. The development of a single application component where the development team, developers are going to use the Lightning component framework to build the user interfaces or application. Lightning design system, where you have a multiple styles and everything will be available. And Lightning component framework is divided into 5 types. One is Lightning component, Lightning application, Lightning event, Lightning interface, Lightning token. How many are there? Lightning component framework is divided into 5 types. Lightning component framework is divided into, it has a 5 different type of Lightning framework. So Lightning component framework consists of 5 different. One is Lightning component, Lightning application, Lightning event, Lightning interface, Lightning token. Lightning design system. Design system is where this is completely a library. You have a pre-built library which is available for the Lightning design system. Using the Lightning design system, you can make a styles, designs, colors, icon, pattern, everything you can build it. You can build on the user interface. Where can we see the Lightning design system? If you go and search in the Google, you will see. Lightning design system. So if you click on this, create the world's best enterprise app experience. So if you use whatever you want, utilities, icon, tools, design token, everything you can use it. By using this Lightning design system, you can make your user interface, your application more beautiful. Right? So now Lightning component framework has 5 different types, right? Lightning component, application, event, interface, token. Now, where can I see this component framework? Where can I see the component framework? If you go to the Salesforce and go to the developer console, setup, and click on a developer console. Okay, click on a file and then click on new. Now here you see Lightning application, Lightning component, Lightning interface, Lightning event, Lightning token. How many are there? 5. Application, component, interface, event, token. 5 different types. This is Lightning component framework. Lightning component framework is divided into 5 types. What are those types?
Application, Lightning component, interface, token.
Okay.
Lightning application, Lightning component, Lightning interface, Lightning event, Lightning token. We will discuss that. Don't be hurry. We will be discussing all of this: Lightning application, component, interface, event, token. We will be discussing each one of them. But first understand the basic thing. Lightning component framework is divided into 5 types. Lightning application, Lightning component, Lightning interface, Lightning event, Lightning token. Now we'll go ahead and see Lightning component framework. Lightning component framework, the first one, Lightning component. So Lightning component is a Aura based framework. Lightning component is a Aura-based framework. If you go here, click on a new, and then click on this Lightning component. Lightning component is Aura-based framework. Lightning component is Aura-based framework. And Aura framework is an open source. It is a third-party application. Anytime Aura can charge billing for the Salesforce. So it's a third party. Right now it is free, available in Salesforce. Using the Lightning component, developer can build sophisticated user interface. So this Lightning component bundle is a set of all necessary resources related to the component. What are those resources? We will see. Basically, Lightning component has a bundle. Lightning component is a bundle of multiple technologies, I can say. Multiple technologies. Lightning component bundle is a set of all necessary resources related to component. And we can implement, developer can implement reusable component. When I say reusable component, if one developer has implemented a component, other developer can reuse the same component if they have a requirement. If second person is also getting the same requirement, then that person can reuse the same component. So Lightning components are reusable. Lightning components are reusable. Next, Lightning application. What is Lightning application? Lightning application is a component-based framework for a Salesforce app development. Lightning application is a component-based framework for Salesforce app development. This is the one I'm talking. Click on a file, click on new, click on Lightning application. Lightning, select this Lightning application. So Lightning application is a component-based framework. That is also component-based framework for Salesforce app development. Now let's understand why do I use the Lightning application here, right? So as we all know, as we have discussed, Lightning component is a Aura-based framework, right? Lightning component is a Aura-based framework. Using this Lightning component, developer build the user interface. Developer will build the user interface. Once the development is done, how the developer can view the Lightning component? Now in Visual Force, what we have done? We have implemented the code here, right? We have implemented some code here. So once we implemented the code, we were having a button called preview here, right? Here, there was a preview button was there. We used to click on that preview button so that it used to direct me into the Salesforce application and shows me the output. Now, Lightning component does not have this framework, this preview button. Lightning component does not have preview button. Lightning component does not have a preview button, right? It does not have preview button. You will be implementing the code in the Lightning component. To view the output of this, you need another one which is called as a Lightning application. You need another one which is called Lightning application. So what you have to do, you have to call this Lightning component from the Lightning application. You have to call the Lightning component from the Lightning application. So developer has to call the Lightning component here. Developer has to call a Lightning component. lightning component he has to call, and that means developer has to write a code here to call the lightning component. It's just a one-line code. And on the lightning application, here we will be having a preview button. Here we'll have a preview button. Now I can click on the preview button, see the output, whatever is implemented in the lightning component. Right, so lightning application is the outer. Inside that we have to call the lightning component, or else if you do not want to call the lightning component, you can write your own code in the lightning application. But there is a difference if you write a code in the lightning component or in the application. What is that difference? We will see while implementing the logic. Okay, whenever we start writing the code, we will see what is the difference between the lightning component. If I go with the lightning component, what will happen? What is the bundle it contains? If I go with the lightning application, what is this bundle contains? So basically lightning component and lightning application both contains the bundle, but lightning component is everybody prefers. Okay. Lightning application, if you want to preview the logic, or if you want to implement a application, when I say application, here click on the 6 dots, click on the view, right? So these all are applications, right? I am into the sales application. If I wanted to go to the service application, I'll click on the service application. And if I want to go back to the sales, then again I have to click on this. What is this called? What is this icon called?
App launch.
Right. So click on this and click on this. And then if you want to go back to the sales application, click on the sales application. So if you want to implement an application, then we will use the lightning application. For now, out of 5, we are going to discuss only the lightning component and lightning application. Lightning event, lightning interface, lightning token, we will discuss further. Because first we need to understand the lightning component and lightning application, how we are building it. Then we will go to the events. Event is nothing but basically, if I have to tell, event is nothing but communication between the two components. Event is nothing but communication between the two components. So event, interface, lightning token, we will discuss later. Everybody clear on the lightning component and lightning application?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Now, coming back to the lightning experience. In lightning experience, when I say lightning experience is here, this entire thing is called as a lightning experience. How you are going to implement this lightning experience? So lightning experience is a combination of your lightning component framework and your lightning application or lightning app builder. Your lightning experience is combination of lightning component framework and lightning application or lightning app builder. Now everybody clear on the lightning application. Now what is the lightning app builder? Lightning component framework can fit into the lightning application, right? That's what we are doing here. So that's what we are doing here. So lightning component can fit into the lightning application to preview the changes. Now, if you do not want to put into the lightning application, what is the other option is you have to fit your lightning component into the lightning app builder. You have to fit your lightning component framework into the lightning app builder. Where is the lightning app builder? Where is the lightning app builder? Now let's go here. Let's click on this opportunity. Click on a record. Now, listen carefully here. Click on a setup. Click on setup. Do you see here two options? Edit page, edit object. Edit page, edit object. If you click on a edit page, that means we are going to edit the page that we are able to see here. We are seeing the opportunity, details, activity, charter, related, what are the page we are seeing here. If you want to modify anything in the Lightning on this page, click on this edit page. Click on the edit page. If you click on the edit page, where are you coming here? Lightning App Builder. You are redirected to Lightning App Builder. You are redirected to Lightning App Builder. Right? So what did I say? Lightning component framework can fit into the Lightning application. Lightning application is programmatically. If you go to the developer console and click on a file and then select the Lightning application. If you do not want to use the Lightning application, you can fit your Lightning component framework into the Lightning App Builder, right? Lightning App Builder is nothing but when you click on the edit page, when you click on an edit page, you are redirected to the Lightning App Builder. You are redirected to the Lightning App Builder. Now here you can see your custom components. There is something called custom here, right? Your components are available here. You can drag it and place here. You can drag and place here, right? Let me show you. Let me connect another org. Perfect. If I'm going to the same opportunity here, I'll take another record. Okay, I'm in the different org right now. So what did I do there? What is the option that I clicked on in order to edit the page?
Get button, edit page.
I think
Setup
Edit
and
page.
edit page.
Setup.
Setup,
Edit page.
edit page. If I click on a edit page, it will be redirected to the Lightning App Builder. It will be redirected to the Lightning App Builder. Now, custom. There are some Lightning components which are implemented here. There are some components which I have implemented here. So for example, hello world. Okay, this is a component which I have implemented. I can drag it and place here. I can directly drag and place here. Right? This is a component. This is a component which I drag directly on the Lightning App Builder. So whenever I'm changing whenever I'm doing some changes on the Lightning component, automatically it will reflect. Now, if I save it, so what happens? This component sits in the page. Now I'll go back. Now on the page, on the record page, you see here component. So component, what are the component I have implemented? It shows here. Now if I do any changes in the Lightning, it will be reflected here directly. So either you can use the Lightning App Builder to check your changes in the Lightning component, or you can use the Lightning application. In the Lightning application, you have to call the Lightning component framework and click on the preview button on the Lightning application so that result will be displayed. So combination of Lightning component framework and Lightning application or Lightning app builder is nothing but a Lightning experience. Whatever you are seeing in the Lightning experience is both of this. Now let's move on. Salesforce Classic versus Salesforce Lightning. Salesforce Classic versus Salesforce Lightning. Now in Salesforce Classic, we see original and old user interface. When you go to the Salesforce Classic, you see very old user interface. Whereas in Lightning, in Salesforce Lightning, we see a modern look and feel, new and impressive user interface. Salesforce Lightning shows new and impressive user interface, which is nothing but a modern look and feel. And then the graphics and icons are not paid much attention in the Classic. Though if you put icons and some graphics, if you put in the Classic also using the Visual Force, so you will not be able to put much attention in the Classic. The attention will go on the data. But here the Salesforce Lightning, easier to read the text and easier to see the icons, easier to see any graphics. If you have applied any graphics, we can easily see, right? And then the Salesforce Classic, if you see any page, whether you go to the opportunity page, whether you go to the account page, whether you go to the contact page, let me show you that. So click on this. So click on switch, reduce. Click on switch to Salesforce Classic. Now, if I switch to Salesforce Classic, whether I go to the account page, whether I go to the, let me do this. Okay, let me switch to the Classic. Switch to Classic and click on the account. Whether I open the account record, same, we will be seeing it. There is no much difference. If I click on a contacts and contacts tab, and if I click on a contact record, we will be seeing the same. There is no difference. If I go to the opportunity tab and if I click on the opportunity record, it's the same. Basically, everything is, all the pages are same. You will not see any differences between the pages. So basically, Salesforce Classic follows the similar layout for all the pages. Whereas Salesforce Lightning, it supports the component framework, right? So component framework. So that provides more clear and insight to display the records. That means it's a more flexibility. You have all your flexibility to design your pages. You can design account record page in different way, contact record page in different way, opportunity page in different way. So you means developers, admin has a more flexibility to play with the pages. You can add your own components, you can add graphics. If you want anything, we can do it on the page. And Salesforce Classic is less secure. Salesforce Lightning is, they have improved the secure by introducing the locker service. There is something called locker service. It's a locker service. So they have introduced this. What is this? We will see later. They have introduced it that is more secure. Okay, and then Salesforce Classic, no mobile experience. But when it comes to the Salesforce Lightning, it has a better mobile experience. And the last one is Salesforce Classic. If there are any releases, right? Salesforce release every quarter, there is a release will be there. So if you are seeing any releases, the new future releases are not available in Classic. So Salesforce Classic, you do not see any new features that are available, or Salesforce is providing the new features we cannot see in the Salesforce Classic. Whereas Salesforce Lightning, all the new features are generally available only in Lightning experience. So user get the access to the latest improvements. And Salesforce also focusing on more onto the Salesforce Lightning. Now, this is clear. This is very high level. We have understood what is the differences between the Salesforce Classic versus Salesforce Lightning, and which is a more security and which one is the better, everything we have seen. Now, there are some kind of a differences we will see between the Salesforce Classic and Salesforce Lightning. User experience. When you say user experience in Salesforce Lightning, the user experience is Lightning is designed for a better user experience with simplicity and easy navigation, very few clicks. And Salesforce Classic is more complex with multiple windows and tabs. When I say multiple windows and tabs is nothing but if you click on here, for example, you wanted to create a product. If you click on add products, what will happen? You are losing the opportunity. You are coming into the different page. I do not want to lose the opportunity page. Or if I'm creating the new task. Okay, if I'm creating a new task, why it is coming here task? I want it to be as is user experience. I want to stay in the opportunity page. And also I wanted to create a task at the same time. Both I wanted to make changes. So which is not available in Classic, and there are more tabs. Next one, customization. Customization is in Lightning. There are more options for customization to control the look and feel of the Salesforce application. There are so many options are there in Lightning. Whereas in Salesforce Classic, very few options on the customization, basically look and feel, very less options are there. Data visualization. Yes. So data visualization. Data visualization in Salesforce Lightning is features. What are the features we have in the Salesforce Lightning that helps a customer, or that helps developer, that helps everybody who are using the Salesforce to visualize the data in new ways, like a Kanban board and a dashboard. What does that mean? When I say Kanban board and dashboard is nothing but what? Let me switch to the Lightning. Yes, if I go to the opportunity screen, if I go to opportunity screen, right? So right now on the opportunity, this is the drop down, we call list view, right? This is the list view, we call the list view. If you select all opportunities, how the data is displayed here in table format. Right, data is displayed in the table format where you have a rows and columns are there. You have a column, rows and columns are there. Now, if you wanted to change the view, the look of this page, you can click on this. This is where you wanted to, like how the data should be displayed. The second icon, this will decide how the data should be displayed on this page. So if you select a table, it shows in a table format. If you select a Kanban is usually we use that word during the sprint, or whenever you are working in a support project, we use Kanban. See here, Kanban gives clarity, information. How many records are there in prospecting? How many records are there in qualification? How many records are there in need analysis? How many records are there in value proposition? Right? we can able to identify, we can able to see how many are there and what is the total cost. What are the opportunities that went in the closed own, how much we got it, how much company has got it, and how many are still in negotiation review, how many are in price quote or proposal, like how much money is pending, everything we can see here, right? Everything we can see, how many went in the qualification and how many still doing the need analysis and what is the price of that. So this is called a Kanban view. This is called Kanban view, where it will give the clarity. The clarity in a sense, like we have a different stages in the opportunity, different stages in the opportunity. Now, if you wanted to know how many are there, better go and review the Kanban. So Lightning has Kanban boards and dashboards. It has a more features where you can change your data visualization, how you wanted to see the data, you can change it. Whereas in Salesforce Classic, we do not have that features. In Salesforce Classic, we do not have that features. Performance, definitely. Salesforce Lightning has a faster and more responsive, because as we discussed in Salesforce Lightning, most of our logic will be in client-side server. If you write the logic in the client-side server, the response is faster and you will see the result immediately on the user interface. Whereas in Salesforce Classic, it's slower, because Salesforce Classic always has to talk to the server-side controller. Clear till this point? Yeah. Any questions?
Ma'am, what side? Once again, can you repeat that?
So let me complete this. Just hold on. So, and one more option is all Einstein features, custom branding, or whatever the latest features are there. Everything we can see in Salesforce Lightning, not in Classic. We cannot see in the Classic. That is not available. Any features that are releasing or any features that are coming, any application that is releasing, there are few things which recently Salesforce has released: Automotive Cloud, Einstein, Omni Studio. These all we cannot see in the Classic. You cannot do anything in the Classic. Whereas Lightning, you have a more flexibility. You can play with different application. You can use the Bolt. There is a Einstein Bolt is there. So everything is available in Salesforce Lightning. So there is so much a developer can do a research, so much research can be done in the Salesforce Lightning. If you want to learn Salesforce Lightning, do the research and play with that, then you have a more flexibility in Salesforce Lightning. Classic is, why do we need a Classic? Basically, Salesforce has started with the Classic. Salesforce has started with the Classic. Now they are slowly moving everything into Lightning. Why we still exist the Classic? Because there are few companies, not everybody, there are few companies who are still using the Visualforce. They had implemented the project long back. When the Visualforce was there, they had implemented. Now they are right now in a stage where they are migrating their changes, migrating the development from the Visualforce to Lightning. Till that point, Salesforce is going to support Classic, but in future, another 2 years or 3 years, after 3 years, we will not see Salesforce Classic. And there are few options that is another disadvantage with the Salesforce Lightning is there are few options which are still does not exist. Not all the Classic changes will not be there in Lightning. There are few options which still need to migrate to the Salesforce Lightning, like email templates. So there are few options which are still, Salesforce is working on the migrating all of them, whatever we are seeing in the Classic. So right now, current year is mostly happens with the migration or migrating the changes, whether from the Visualforce to Lightning or Classic to the Lightning. Everything they will be doing it. Once the Salesforce feels that we are good, we can move to the Lightning. That might be happen after 3 years, they will close the Classic. Definitely they will be in Lightning.
Swapna, which one doesn't has email customization, Lightning or Classic?
Classic, there sometimes what happens is when you click on the email templates, okay, so it will ask you if you want to view the Classic, if you want to view the email templates, you have to switch to the Classic. So that option we used to get it. So right now also we are getting some. So there are some email templates which we cannot see in the Lightning, only we can see in the Classic.
Okay,
Lightning has email. I'm talking about the template. I'm not saying the email. I'm talking about the email template. Okay, so basically email is divided into 2 parts. One is email alert and another one is email template. Email template, right? So email templates, what is the email template contains? Email template contains the text of body of the email. Okay, so I'm talking about the email templates. If you want to view the email templates of that particular email, sometimes what happens is it does not allow in the Lightning. You have to switch. Salesforce itself is give the option. If you want to view the email template, please switch to the Classic. Okay, in latest release, they might have updated it. But if I see, I'll let you know that.
Thank you.
Yep. Any other questions?
Ma'am, one doubt on Lightning component, ma'am. Actually, you are saying like we are keeping or fixing Lightning component into app builder. In that process, you are click on opportunities and then click on records, right, ma'am? So in UI, there is no records, right, ma'am? We don't have any data, means how we get the records at that time.
What do you mean by record type?
In developing, we don't have any sample data, right, ma'am? Records means, yeah, if you are clicking in opportunities and then you click on records, right?
Records, okay, let me click on a records, okay.
Yeah, there is no data, right, ma'am? In developing.
When you say there is no data means?
During development, we don't have any sample data, right? Then you just go through opportunity and edit like that. How it is possible?
Okay, so is your question is when we are developing the logic, if I do not have any data inside the org, how can I implement the application? How can I implement my code? Is that your question?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so in that scenario, what we will do is developer creates the record. Developer creates some data based on the understanding, based on the requirement, they will go ahead and create it. So go to the opportunity. Developers always creates their own data here. We never believe the data that exists in the org. Developer always has to either create it or after completing the development for testing purpose also they will be creating the records. If it is a new org, if it is already existing org, definitely you will be having a data.
Okay.
Yeah, ma'am, sometimes we don't have a record level access. Then what we have to do?
Record level access?
Yeah.
When you say record level access, what?
Yeah, sometimes in profile level, we don't have an record level access like that.
Thank you.
Yeah, then
that's a different topic. When you do not have a record level access means that is all related to sharing. So we have a different topic called sharing. So basically we can share the record in different ways. So in case if your user or your profile level or your user level, you might not be having the access to view all other information. But if you are admin, click on here, click on the all opportunity, you should be able to see all the records. If you are still not able to see here, go and search. If you are a system admin, definitely you should have all the information access. System admin will have all the access. If in case if somebody removes it, then I don't know.
Yeah, ma'am. Developers also in profile level, there's conditions on record level access like that, ma'am.
Developers, admins, whoever is working on the project, they usually on the system admin. They will not be having any different profile. They should be on the system admin because they are implementing the application. They should be in the application, right? When they are implementing the application means they should have all the access in Salesforce.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes.
Actually, in opportunity object, we have records, pre-defined record. What is the use and importance of that records?
In opportunity, different records, yes.
Yeah, already standard records are there. What is the use of the records? Every account and contact, we have some records.
Okay.
By default,
the already existing records, why do we have? Salesforce, whenever we create a org, Salesforce by default gives some data to us so that we understand how the opportunity works, right? In real time, whatever is Salesforce is providing this data, we do not keep it. We usually delete in the real time because in the real time we'll have a real client information. So what are the data you are seeing here? This is provided by the Salesforce. Just let you know that, okay, this is how the data exists, how the connection is there between the opportunity to account, what is the amount and what is the stage, what are the different stages, how can I track the opportunity. So they are just giving the sample data here. It's not a real data. It's not used by the users, first of all.
Yeah, one more thing. Actually, whenever you will enter the real-time project, you can see this type of records and this type like sales applications like that. No, whichever Salesforce by default.
This is only in the developer console you will see it, but in real time you do not see.
Okay, thank
you. Yeah.
Swapna, vanilla instance also comes with data, test data.
Which one, Abhishek?
When the production instance.
Yes. Everything comes with there should be, whether you create an unlimited edition, whether you create a developer edition or enterprise edition, there should be a data that Salesforce is going to provide. So what client does is they clean up the data. They clean up the data, or they will tell us to clean up the data because that is provided by Salesforce. That is not the real data. Or if client doesn't care about this, what they do is whatever is Salesforce is provided, it will be in different, here we have a list view, right? So they keep it in the different, and whatever their data is there, they will keep it in different list view. Okay, so usually they delete it. That's what I have seen.
So we need to keep handy some like delete a statement or delete a SQL query. So
yes.
Right.
So delete is different ways they can do it.
Swapna?
Yeah.
So in Visual Force, you said the entire logic is in the Apex, right? So if this is the case, then where do we put the client side validation?
In Visualforce, we do not have that flexibility to write the logic in client-side server.
Oh.
Only the styling you can apply, that is just limited. JavaScript, you can write it in the classic, but it's not that useful.
Okay. Okay.
Basically, in Visualforce, the concept is if you wanted to get the data from user interface, you cannot capture the data directly in the Visualforce. You have to go to the Apex. Without going to the Apex, you cannot get the data. That's why in Apex we have a getter and setter. So if you write a getter and setter, then only you will be able to capture the data which is entered in the user interface in Visualforce. So there is no way we cannot implement client-side server.
Okay. Other thing is like in Aura and LWC, you say we can write most of the logic in JavaScript, right?
Yes.
So when you say that, it is just the what you say, the validation part or the basic part, right? But when it comes to interaction with the database, we need Apex, correct?
Okay, there are different scenarios. For example, if you want to get the data from user interface, and that has to be registered in the account. Whatever the data is entered in the user interface, the data should goes to the account.
Account means in the database, you mean?
Account is nothing but this account object.
Yeah, so the database.
So in that case, we have an option in JavaScript in Lightning where you can connect directly to the account object without touching the server side.
Okay. Okay. Got it.
There are some scenarios which you can do directly in Lightning, but there are some scenarios like if you have to talk to the child objects, if you want to do more, like you wanted to go to the account, from the account you want to go to the contact or opportunity, from here you wanted to go and check what is the value. In those scenarios, there are some complicated scenarios are there. We will be seeing that in those scenarios, if you feel that JavaScript is not going to help me to get the output for this application, then we will touch server side Apex.
Okay, got it. Okay. One more question I had, that now since the Visualforce is is not in that much demand, so will there be interview questions on Visualforce, or if I'm appearing for PD1 certification, will there be questions on Visualforce?
Yes, there will be, because right now we are in the phase of where client is using the Visualforce and Lightning. Salesforce is using the Visualforce and Lightning.
Okay. Okay, thanks.
So if you search Salesforce jobs in India or Salesforce jobs in Dubai in Google, you will see here. Okay, so let me click on this 100 more jobs. So if I click on a Salesforce developer, right, they are looking for the Lightning flows, LWC, Apex, right, and VS Code, Visual Studio Code, that is, and whoever is newly started the companies, they don't ask about the Visualforce, but who are the companies that exist, who has implementing the application since long, then we will see they will be asking the Visualforce. But most of the questions you see it from the Lightning. Very less questions they will be asking in the Visualforce. Maybe the basic questions will be asking. So only that part we will be covering, just to understanding Visualforce, how it works.
Okay. Okay.
Hi Swapna, this is Vishal.
Yeah, Vishal.
Ma'am, I have one question about related to job in Salesforce.
Mm-hmm.
There are very few jobs are available for freshers.
Sorry?
There are some few jobs are for some Salesforce freshers.
So is your question is there any jobs for freshers?
Yes, very few jobs are available in the market. Yes, am I right or not?
See, first of all, we have to understand this. What are the technology you go, whether you go Salesforce, SAP, Java, whatever technology you go, what is company is looking at? Company is more interested to take the experienced people because they do not want whoever is already know, they will know. But there are companies who are starting up. Okay, they wanted to take a freshers. They wanted to take a freshers because they wanted to start using the Salesforce who has already started learning it, and they can do the journey along with the startup companies. So there are some companies who takes the Salesforce freshers also.
Okay.
Okay, so let's move on. I have a few more slides, then we will complete that. I'll take the questions later. Now, question, Lightning component framework.
Lightning component framework.
Yes, Jyoti. Okay, so Lightning component framework is LWC framework or Aura framework or HTML framework.
Aura framework.
Others?
Aura framework.
Aura framework.
Yes. So the answer is Aura framework. Lightning component is Aura framework. Next one. JavaScript is used for implement server-side controller, to implement client-side controller, or to write Apex code.
Implement server-side.
Client-side.
Client-side.
Okay. Don't get confused. Somebody said server-side. So JavaScript is to implement client-side controllers. Next question. What are the different type of Lightning component frameworks we have? So Lightning component, Lightning application, Lightning events, Lightning interface, Lightning token, or Lightning component, Lightning application, or none.
Lightning component.
Lightning component, first one.
First one. Application interface.
Lightning
First one.
First one.
The answer is, what are the different type of Lightning component framework are? Lightning component, Lightning application, Lightning event, Lightning interface, Lightning token. Today we have seen Lightning component, what is it? And we have seen what is the Lightning component.
Application. Yes.
Application.
Next question. Salesforce Lightning used for to design better user interface, data visualization can control look and feel, faster and more responsive, or all of them?
All of them.
All of them. Yes. So the answer is Lightning used for, we use the Lightning, Salesforce Lightning is to design better user interface, and also Salesforce in Lightning is data visualization can control look and feel, and Salesforce Lightning is faster, more responsive. So all of them. Hope everybody got that. Now let's see the last one. Salesforce Lightning component bundle. Okay. So Salesforce Lightning component bundle. Which one I'm talking right now? I'm talking about file new Salesforce Lightning component. Salesforce Lightning component. So Lightning component bundle. Salesforce Lightning component bundle is combination of 8 resources. It has 8 resources. When a developer creates a Lightning component, When a developer creates a Lightning component, by default, Salesforce creates the bundle. So Lightning component will be displayed along with the 8 bundles. What are those 8 bundles? Component, controller, helper, style, documentation, renderer, design, and SVG. SVG is nothing but scalar vector group. Okay. Design SVG. Design SVG we are not using right now. I'll tell you that later. But remember, this Lightning component has 8 resources. Component, controller, helper, style, documentation, renderer, design, SVG. Total 8. Total 8 resources are there. Now, I clicked on the Lightning component. What I did here? File, new Lightning component. Now, today is the first one, right? So, I'm creating the Lightning first day. And then click on a submit. As soon as you click on a submit, here you see the bundle has created. Lightning component is created with the bundle. Component, controller, helper, style, documentation, renderer, design, SVG. Automatically, Salesforce will give you this 8 resources, 8 elements. Whenever you start creating the Lightning component, Salesforce by default show you that 8 different resources in the bundle, Lightning component bundle. So total we have a 8. Component, controller, helper, style, documentation, renderer, design, SVG. SVG is scalar vector group. Okay, so we are done with the session. Let me stop recording.